My younger brother showed up at my house, bringing his pregnant girlfriend with him. Her belly was already huge. He stood there with a guilty face and said, "Sis, brother Jia Tuan, Xiao Jie and I, we messed up. We went too far. We're still at the stage of building our careers. There's no way we can get married and have a child now. This baby, we can only get rid of it. Please, help us find a reliable doctor." I looked at the young girl in front of me, her stomach so big it was impossible to ignore, and my whole body trembled with anger. Without thinking, I raised my hand and slapped him hard across the face. My husband couldn't bear to watch anymore. He rushed over and pulled me back. "All right, honey. Hitting Xiaoji won't solve anything now." He clenched his teeth. "Her belly is already this big. An abortion would be too dangerous. Why don't we let her give birth? We'll raise the child." I thought it over and over again, but in the end, I couldn't find a better solution. So I nodded. That very moment, I went out to book a postpartum care center. But when I came back, standing outside the door, through a small crack, I heard my brother laughing. "Brother Jia Tuan, your plan really worked." My sister agreed without even hesitating. "I just had to take a slap for you. That's all." My husband's voice followed, calm and reassuring. "I won't forget this favor. Xiao Jie, just focus on your pregnancy here. Once the baby is born, I'll take care of everything for you and the child." My mind went blank. I had to hold onto the wall just to stay standing. It took me a long time to finally come back to my senses. So, the child in her belly was my husband's. I pushed the door open. The three of them were sitting on the sofa. Xiao Jie was leaning against my husband, Sun Jia Tuan, holding his hand while casually nibbling on an apple. The moment I walked in, he hurriedly pushed her away. I pretended not to notice. My expression remained calm. "I've already booked the postpartum center," I said lightly. "It's expensive. 128,000 for 28 days. Xiaoji's eyes widened. "That's not expensive at all. It's even cheaper than in Beijing." "Is it the top VIP room? I have claustrophobia. If the room is too small, I won't be able to stay." I smiled gently. "It's a premium suite, fully smart system, one-on-one service, 24 hours a day." She looked satisfied. My husband also smiled. "Come on, honey. We earn money to spend it where it matters, right?" I shot Feng Jie a sharp glare, then turned to my husband with a grateful expression. "Thank you, husband, for helping clean up this brat's mess." He replied casually, "We're family. No need to thank me. Besides, your parents raised me since I was little, like their own son. If anything happens to you or Xiaojie, how could I possibly refuse?" As he spoke, his eyes turned slightly red. His father and mine had once been comrades. After his parents died in a car accident when he was young, my father took him in and raised him. That's why, even after we got married, the way we addressed each other never changed. My brother still called him Brother Jia Tuan, and he still called my parents uncle and aunt. Listening to his sincere, emotional tone, my chest tightened. If I hadn't overheard that conversation outside the door just now, I would never have imagined that my own husband and my biological brother were working together to deceive me. I sat down across from Xiao Jie and spoke casually. "Oh, right, Xiao Jie. I've never heard my brother mention you before. How did you two meet? You're already 8 months pregnant, so you must have known each other for quite a while, right?" "We met through work. It's been a year and a half," she replied quickly, almost as if she had rehearsed it. Where are you from? I continued. She named a small, obscure city. My brother immediately jumped in to cover for her. That's her hometown. Later she came to Hang City for work, and that's how we met. I nodded, then frowned slightly. If you met in Hang City, then why did you just say the postpartum center here is cheaper than Beijing? Are you very familiar with Beijing? The three of them exchanged glances. Xiaoji hesitated, unable to answer. My husband quickly walked over and wrapped his arm around me. Hey, honey, why are you interrogating her like this? She's pregnant. Her reactions are slower. Don't tire her out. I noticed the brief flash of jealousy in Xiaoji's eyes as his arm rested around my waist. Suddenly, she clutched her stomach and cried out softly. Ouch! She pointed at the large wedding photo hanging on the wall and said nervously, This photo is so big. Are you sure it's secure? What if it falls and hits me? Even Sun Jiatuan looked a little guilty this time. I hung it myself. There's absolutely no problem. The moment he finished speaking, I stepped forward, stood on my tiptoes, and took the wedding photo down. Xiaoji has a point, I said calmly. Let's just remove it. He froze, staring at me. His lips moved slightly. But in the end, he said nothing. I dragged a suitcase over and began packing my clothes, one by one, from the bed. He immediately grew anxious. Honey, what are you doing? Xiaoji pretended to panic. Oh no, is Sister Yue upset because I moved in? Then I'll leave right away. She said she'd leave, but her feet didn't move an inch. I replied calmly, How could that be? You're carrying my brother's child. Of course we have to take good care of you. It just so happens that I need to go on a business trip soon, so you can have the master bedroom all to yourself. Then I turned to my husband. Honey, don't we still have that project in Beijing? The contract hasn't been finalized yet. I was planning to go check on it. You stay here and take care of my brother and Xiaoji. We had built our company together from nothing. He knew exactly what project I was talking about, so he could only nod, his expression complicated. Offering to drive me, I refused. Just as I was about to leave, a thought suddenly flashed through my mind, so I stopped. To be safe, I said, we should take Xiaoji for a checkup. If there's any problem, we can deal with it early. Xiaoji, I'll take you to the hospital in a bit. Then I turned to him. Honey, I left a document at the office. Can you go get it and bring it to the hospital? I'll need it for my trip. Once Xiaoji finishes her checkup, you can take her home. After arranging everything, I waited until he left, then called my brother into the master bedroom. Fangji, tell me honestly, from childhood until now, how have I treated you? When we were young, he was always causing trouble. Our father was strict, and every time he got angry, he would beat him severely. And every single time, I was the one who stood in front of him, protecting him. He blinked, confused. Sis, you've always been good to me. Why are you asking this all of a sudden? I didn't answer. I just stared at him. Under my gaze, he grew uneasy. His eyes darted around, but he still refused to tell the truth. In my heart, I began counting. 60 seconds. When the 60th second arrived, I finally spoke. As long as you know I've treated you well, that's enough. I'm going on a business trip now. Keep an eye on your brother-in-law for me. He immediately relaxed, nodding eagerly. What he didn't know was that those 60 seconds were the last chance I gave him. After he left, I found Sun Jiatuan's razor. I glanced at the stubble still on it, then carefully put it into my bag. I also kept a few strands of hair that I had just casually pulled from my brother's head. Then I made a quiet phone call to someone I knew at the hospital. I'm bringing a pregnant woman in for a blood test later. I need a paternity test done. Just say it's a routine checkup. Don't let anyone know. After receiving confirmation, I took Xiaojie to the hospital. Once her blood was drawn, Sun Jia Tuan arrived. The moment she saw him, she immediately started acting weak. She held her head and said, "Brother Jia Tuan, I just had so much blood drawn. No wonder I feel dizzy." Without even noticing that I was still there, he rushed over to support her, even handing her a bottle of fresh juice. "I just bought this for you. Drink it. Replenish yourself." I stood there quietly, looking at the man I had known for 20 years, and suddenly, he felt like a complete stranger. 8 years ago, he knelt in front of my parents and said, "Uncle, Aunt, I know I have nothing, but I truly love Xiao Yue. If you allow her to be with me, I swear, I will treat her well for the rest of my life." 5 years ago, we moved to Shenzhen to start our business. We lived in a tiny apartment, so small we could almost touch the neighbor's wall. We shared a single pack of instant noodles. He insisted on giving me the braised egg. I refused and pushed it back and forth, until the egg fell to the floor. He quickly picked it up, washed it under the tap, and started crying. "Xiao Yue, you've suffered because of me." 3 years ago, our company finally began to succeed. He secretly planned a grand wedding for me. At the ceremony, as he took my hand from my father, he cried again, "Xiao Yue, from now on, you're my wife. We'll grow old together." All of it felt like smoke now. I blinked, forcing back the tears in my eyes. Only then did he finally remember I was there. With an awkward expression, he said, "Honey, this juice is freshly made. I only had time to get 1 cup." I smiled faintly. "You came at the right time. I need to head to the airport now." Then I turned and walked away. After a few steps, I stopped and turned back. He was still being pulled by Xiaoji, whispering with her. I asked softly, "Do you have anything you want to say to me?" He froze. Xiaoji suddenly laughed. "Sister Yue, you two have been married for so long. Why are you still so clingy? Is it because women get older and start feeling insecure?" I ignored her. I just stood there, waiting. Finally, he came back to his senses. Looking embarrassed, he said, "Take care on your trip. Come back soon." "Okay." I nodded, gave him one last deep look, and turned away. This time, I didn't look back. As the sky slowly brightened, I drifted into a restless sleep, only to fall straight into a nightmare. Luckily, my phone woke me up. It was the private investigator from Beijing. "Miss Fang, I found something," he said. "Xu Jie used to be a bar hostess. She worked near the hotel you gave me. About half a year ago, she suddenly quit, said she had found a wealthy sponsor, someone who was keeping her." My ears rang. Before I could process it, another message came in from my contact at the hospital. "Xiao Yue, both paternity test results are ready. I'll send them to you first." The first report, Fang Jie is not the biological father. The second report, Sun Jia Tuan is the biological father. My fingers loosened. The phone slipped from my hand and hit the floor. My parents rushed in, startled. "Xiao Yue, what happened?" I picked up the phone and showed them everything. Then, right in front of them, I called him. "Sun Jia Tuan, let's get a divorce." At the hospital that day, watching Feng Yue walk away, for some reason, Sun Jia Tuan suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest and a strange sense of guilt. He was about to chase after her, when Shuji grabbed his arm. "Brother Jia Tuan, it's rare that your wife isn't here today. Take me to the mall later, okay? Let's buy some things for the baby." Looking at her swollen belly, he nodded. "I must be overthinking," he told himself, to deceive Fang Yue. He had even rehearsed everything with Fang Ji in advance. There shouldn't be any flaws. 1 year ago, during a business trip to Beijing, he met Su Ji at a bar. She had big, bright eyes. After just one meeting, she remembered his name. The second time he visited, she stayed glued to his side, ignoring every other customer. Someone joked, "Mr. Sun, looks like this girl has her eyes on you. Why not take her with you tonight?" He quickly refused, raising his ring. "No way. If my wife finds out, she'll kill me." The girl blinked, her eyes filled with disappointment. But one day, as if possessed, he went back to that bar alone. He got drunk, and in that hazy state, he brought Shuji back to the hotel. The next morning, seeing her lying beside him, he sighed. "It's just a mistake," he thought. "Men, it's not uncommon to mess up once. As long as it doesn't affect my family, it's fine." But not long after returning to Shenzhen, she called him, crying, "Brother Jiatuan, I'm pregnant." It felt like a blow to the head. Once he recovered, he immediately flew back to Beijing, planning to take her to get an abortion. But Shu Jie cried until her eyes were swollen. "Do we really have to get rid of it? I don't need a title. I'm willing to give birth to your child." Looking at her tear-streaked face and thinking about the child in her womb, he softened. "Fine, you can keep the baby. But this must never reach my wife. And I will not divorce her." He made her quit the bar, rented her an apartment in Beijing, let her focus on the pregnancy. But deep down, he still couldn't feel at ease. Letting Shujie raise his child just didn't feel reliable. So, he came up with a plan. He would make Fang Ji take the blame. He knew very well that Fang Yue had always doted on her younger brother. As long as it was within her ability, she would always help him. At first, Fang Ji refused outright. "What? You want me to lie to my sister with you? Absolutely not." He even raised his fist. "You bastard! My sister treats you so well. And this is how you repay her? Do you even have a conscience?" Sun Jiatuan didn't move. He let him hit. Only when blood appeared at the corner of his mouth did Fang Ji finally stop. With a bitter smile, he said, "I know I'm scum. But I can't just watch my own child be aborted or raised by someone else. I grew up without parents. I swore I would take care of my own child. Fang Ji, please help me." In the end, Fang Ji agreed. To make sure everything worked perfectly, they even planned to bring Shu Ji to Fang Yue when she was close to giving birth. That way, Fang Yue would definitely soften and keep the child. After everything was arranged, Sun Jiatuan told Shu Ji, "After you give birth, I'll give you a large sum of money. I'll take care of your future. But from then on, this child will belong to me and my wife. You are not allowed to interfere in our lives." Chuji nodded obediently, but he didn't see the jealousy and unwillingness hidden deep in her eyes as she lowered her head. The call connected. "Hello, wife?" His voice sounded half asleep. I spoke calmly. "Sun Jiatuan, let's get a divorce." He was stunned. What did you say? What happened?" I said softly. "The baby Shuji is carrying is yours." "I know everything." Silence. Only heavy breathing on the other end. After a long while, his voice returned, filled with panic. "Wife, where are you? I'll come find you. Let's talk in person, properly. My father grabbed the phone. Zhao Yue is at home. Sun Jia Tuan, you animal! A loud crash sounded. Then Xu Jie's panicked voice. Brother Jia Tuan, your hand. There's so much blood. Get lost, he roared. Then, hurriedly. Uncle, please listen to me. It's not what you think. I cut in. Just answer one question. Is the child yours? Silence again. 10 seconds later, he broke down. Yes, I'm a bastard. I'm sorry to you. I'll take her to get an abortion right now. I don't dare ask for your forgiveness, but please, don't divorce me, okay? I said nothing, and quietly hung up. Then I sent him the divorce agreement I had already prepared. That afternoon, he and Fang Jie came back together. Both looked exhausted. The moment they entered, they dropped to their knees in front of my parents. Uncle, Aunt, it's all my fault. I was blinded, and I forced Fang Jie to lie with me. If you must blame someone, blame me. Don't blame him. He kept banging his head against the floor. Soon, his forehead split open, blood seeping out. My father said nothing. He stood up, grabbed a belt, and lashed it across Fang Jie's back. Again and again, Fang Jie clenched his teeth, hissing in pain. My mother couldn't bear to watch, but she didn't stop it. She just turned away, tears streaming down her face. Mom, don't cry. Fang Jie forced a smile. I deserve this. Sun Jia Tuan moved to shield him. Uncle, hit me instead. But my father threw the belt aside. Pointing at him, he said coldly, Sun Jia Tuan, we raised you like our own son. But in the end, you are not my son. From today on, get out of the Fang family. We have nothing to do with you anymore. He froze. From the sofa, I watched everything, yet felt nothing at all. He snapped back to reality, then began kowtowing again, harder this time. Blood dripped down his face, but he seemed not to feel it. Uncle, Aunt, you raised me. Without you, there would be no me. Even if you beat me to death today, I won't complain. Please don't drive me away. I haven't repaid you yet. I haven't repaid you. His voice broke. Seeing no response, he crawled on his knees until he reached me. Wife, I know I was wrong. When we go back, I'll take Suji to get an abortion. Please, don't divorce me. I can't live without you. I lowered my head and met his bloodshot eyes. From my bag, I took out a few sheets of paper and placed them in front of him. Sun Jia Tuan, sign it. The moment he saw the bold words, divorce agreement, his pupils shrank. In an instant, he collapsed, like a snake with its bones removed. It took him a long time to find his voice again. So, no matter what I say, you won't forgive me anymore, right? I nodded. The moment you cheated, you should have known how this would end. His face turned pale. Blood from his forehead had already formed a thin stream. Yet, he didn't seem to notice at all. He forced a faint smile. All right, I'll sign. He picked up the pen, didn't even look at the contents, and signed his name. Then he slowly stood up, looked at me deeply. Xiao Yue, I'm sorry. He turned to my parents and bowed. Uncle, Aunt, I'm sorry. I'll give you an explanation. His calmness was almost unsettling. My father kicked Fang Jie, who was still kneeling on the ground. Go after him. If he tries anything stupid, keep an eye on him after the divorce. The next day, I received a call. It was his lawyer. Miss Fang, I'm calling on behalf of Mr. Sun Jia Tuan. He has made a decision regarding the divorce agreement. A decision? In fact, he has signed a voluntary waiver of assets. He is willing to give you all marital property, including the company you built together. In other words, he's leaving with nothing. My parents heard everything. My mother sighed softly. At least, he still has some conscience left. Then she added, "But what's the point of money? After all these years?" I hugged her, half joking. "Mom, don't underestimate how much we've earned. Even if I never work again, it's enough for us to live comfortably for life. Give it some time. I'll take you and Dad traveling. We'll enjoy life properly." For years, I had chased his ambitions with him. Left home, worked tirelessly. Even during holidays, we barely returned. Now, it was time to stop and stay with my parents. Then suddenly, Fongji called. "Sis, something's wrong. Brother Jiatuan is forcing Shuji to have an abortion. She refuses, so he dragged her to the hospital. But the hospital said she's already 8 months pregnant. And with her medical history, if she forces an abortion, she might die. He's trying to take her to a small clinic now. Sis, he'll only listen to you. Please stop him." I was silent for a moment. Then I said, "Call the police." "What?" "Call the police. She's pregnant. If she refuses and he forces it, that's illegal. Let him be detained for a couple of days. He needs to wake up." On the day the divorce was finalized, I saw him again. Just 1 month, and he looked like a completely different person. Unshaven, bloodshot eyes, his shirt missing buttons. He looked at me. "Xiao Yue, are you doing okay?" "I'm doing well," I replied calmly. "The company is stable. I found a new partner. I'm planning to take a long vacation and travel with my parents." His eyes lit up, then dimmed again. "So, without me, you're happier." I didn't respond. "Take care," I said softly. As we passed each other, I saw, from the corner of my eye, his hand reaching out, as if to grab me. But halfway, he pulled it back. I didn't stop walking. And just like that, our 20 years of knowing each other and 3 years of marriage came to an end. A year later, on a business trip to a small city, I ran into him again. At first, I didn't even recognize him. He called out softly, "Xiao Yue." Only then did I realize it was him. He was dark, thin, half his hair already gray, nothing like a man in his 30s. He wore a dirty t-shirt, covered by a sanitation worker's vest. I noticed his limp. "What happened to your leg?" He looked down. It's crippled. I was beaten." It turned out, after everything, he had fallen into a trap. Zhu Jie had people, men from her past. They forced him to transfer all his money, then beat him. One of them smashed his leg with a chair. That was the end of it. "Why didn't you call the police?" I asked. He shook his head. "What's the point? My leg wouldn't heal anyway." "Maybe this is my punishment. I left Shenzhen, came here. This is my parents' hometown. I feel more at peace here. I can't find proper work with this leg. So I do this job. It's not much, but enough to live." His voice was calm, like he was telling someone else's story. I nodded. Then, "I wish you peace in the future." Just one simple sentence. And his eyes turned red again. His lips trembled. "Xiao Yue, if there's a next life, I'll cherish you properly." I didn't reply. I turned and walked away. My client was still waiting. Life was still moving forward. And I knew there is no next life, only this one. So in this life, I will live seriously, treasure the people beside me, and live each day well. The sunlight fell on my face. Another bright day.